Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mike Tuesday show rolls on. Going to preview the State A baseball tournament coming up here in about 15 minutes. Mentioned earlier, the Women's College World Series begins Thursday. Oklahoma City seems to be the fixture for all Minnesota sports fans, whether it's the Wolves playing the Thunder, but obviously the World Series is there as well. Ole Miss's softball team is there for the first time. Usually we wouldn't care too much about that, but their head coach is someone that spent plenty of time in the upper Midwest and certainly in Fargo and at North Dakota State. Jamie Trachsel is the head coach at Ole Miss, and she joins us here as the Rebels have made it to OKC for the first time. It's great to see you. It looks like you got a permanent smile on your face for the last 2 days. Describe of what it was like Sunday on the road, winning and making it to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, well, first I want to say I appreciate you having me, and it's great to see familiar faces. I spent 16 proud years at NDSU. When people ask me about my career, I say personally and professionally grew up in Fargo and at NDSU. And I've learned this along the way that no matter what you accomplish or where you go, you have a lot of people to thank and you never want to forget where you come from. So I'm proud to be on this for a few minutes, but Sunday was great. I've been blessed and very grateful to be part of some pretty special firsts. And it started back at NDSU in 2009, winning our regional to go to Supers, Minnesota, the World Series, and obviously this past Sunday at Arkansas. And they're all similar in their own sense, but completely uniquely different. And Sunday was probably the calmest day I've had in a moment like that, just as a coach. And I think our players gave us that confidence, their confidence, the way they carried themselves, their mentality going into that day. It just felt like it was going to be different, and the response system throughout the whole game gave us a lot of confidence. But pretty cool in front of 4,000 Arkansas fans to kind of do that and do something special in a pretty hostile environment. But proud of our players and excited for the opportunity here in OKC.
To do it against a conference rival, that make it even sweeter. What happened?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's I mean, it's a bloodbath down here. It's not even friendly fire sometimes. It's just fire, in the conference play. And obviously there's a lot on the line every year. Every game is so challenging, and having the ability to let go and move on from whether you win or you lose. We always say there's no carryovers, but to do it on someone else's field and the way that we did it, the way this team has done it back-to-back weekends and postseason play, it's pretty special.
You were part, obviously, of the Gopher team that went there. How much are you relying on your own experience to tell your players about what's to come this weekend?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing from coming here was one thing I told our administration, we need to get up there as soon as possible because it gets fast, your days get filled. There's a lot of really cool things we get to be part of, but it's long with the media and how structured everything is and some of the different events we get to go to. But so the first thing was, the plan was actually, you have to prepare for it, was to go straight up to Oklahoma from Arkansas. So we were prepared for that. Get in here, get settled, kind of catch your breath after a long emotional weekend. Do laundry, figure out where you're going, what that next place is, and obviously we given ourselves an extra day and a half to get settled. And then just to tell them how fast things go and to slow down. And there's a ton of media and a ton of cameras. So yeah, having some familiarity with the schedule, the planning, what the days feel like to get rested is definitely an advantage, and obviously from a couple of years ago.
Guess it shouldn't be so much of a surprise, James, that half the league, more than half the teams there are from your conference. I mean, for people that maybe don't follow softball on a regular basis, do you describe what a weekly grind is it for your team?
Yeah, I think the thing that I would have learned even being down here and coming from the north is just, it's 9 weeks of conference play, and it is just grueling. There's no day off. There's no weekend off. Anybody can beat anybody. I think the winner of our regular season still lost 7 games. And again, every game matters. And we always told our team, whether you're going for the series win, the sweep, or just to win one on that, and whatever day that is, it matters. And it matters for seeding in the conference tournament. That matters for postseason seeding and where you go and how your matchups are. But I think the grind of that, you have to have some tough kids. You can be good, but if you're not tough, and we learned how to be tough, we're a different team than even the start of our conference season. And I think our regular season actually forced us into that. and really brought out who we actually can be as competitors individually and certainly as a team. But it's a grind, and it will mentally and emotionally challenge you as much as physically.
You still have some upper Midwest connection on your team. Lexi Brady, we just saw Lexi Brady from Sioux Falls
Yeah.
hit a monster home run for you on Sunday. How important was that to still have some tie? I mean, you got softball players that are all over the place down where you're at now, but to have some tie to the upper Midwest on your team right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's home, right? Like, and Lexi was committed to us at Minnesota. So we saw her 6, 7 years ago now that she's a senior, I guess. Came to camp, was committed there. And then when I came down to Ole Miss, obviously I made that phone call to her, and I'm really proud of her growth and her development the last 4 years, and especially this year offensively. Like, she's earned every bit of what she's gotten. 3 hitting coaches in 3 years is not easy for anybody. So big credit to her and her opening, whoever came in with open arms and being receptive to their coaching. We had 3 players come with us from Minnesota to Ole Miss, so that felt like home to me too. Angelina DeLeon and Lexi are those 2 that I've had kind of the longest standing relationship with. But proud of Lexi, proud of Ange, what they've done. And that was kind of the nail in the coffin, it felt like, on Sunday.
You, I know wherever you've gone, you've still scheduled NDSU. You did it this year. What was that like to get the Bison to come down to Oxford this year?
Oh, Darren's family, like, I'll probably get emotional talking about him just because of the journey that we went on together. Part of where I am is because of him, and he had so much confidence in me when I was a young coach, and gave me so much responsibility and trusted me with that, and trusted me to be loyal to him, to be loyal to the program. There's a lot of things that I still carry with me that I think it was a great fit for both of us, was just that it's team first, it's mission first, team always is kind of the saying that we have, and who you're going to be as a teammate and as a team leader, certainly. But he's special to me. This program is special to me, in every area of all the people that were there, big part of my life.
Have you seen now they got turf up here now, finally?
Yeah. Yeah. Our players, I think I got to think back to what year that was, would appreciated that.
Yeah, right.
They shoveled our infield one
I
year.
remember. Yes.
That was when you could do motivational workouts. We still tell that story to this day. They're still probably not very happy about that, but
There's that 2009 run to the Super Regional. It gets lost because basketball made the NCAA tournament that year, and so much was happening. But it's now, gosh, it's more than 15 years ago. What do you remember about going to Oklahoma, beating Oklahoma to make the Super Regionals, and the people waking up saying, "Holy cow, this is a big deal." It's softball just did this.
oh, I remember it easily. And the couple of highlights, I guess, from it were our saying that year was "dream big almost isn't good enough," because people had made like the tournament, and you had to win it to go in softball. You have to win your conference tournament to go. Most mid majors, that's kind of how it is. And we didn't want to just be happy to make the tournament or to get in the finals. So our saying was "dream big, but almost isn't good enough." And it was actually almost more nerve-wracking to get out of conference because you had 5 years of expectations. Our catcher, Kelly Cantrell, had a 4-leaf clover that she kept in her back pocket. I know people were wearing the same things over and over again, and obviously we won that. And that's probably, people ask me to this day, there's obviously coming to the World Series, but I can say that conference tournament, 2014 conference tournament, and then obviously some regional, super regionals that, put it in the same spot. The weight of your entire season being on those 2 tournaments specifically. I remember, and the biggest thing, we went to Oklahoma, they were ranked 7th in the country. Andy Padilla threw amazing. I was calling pitches at that time, and we had a lightning delay in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's right.
So we pulled this potent offense to 0, and then we're in a delay for a long time. Then we sit there, and then they call the game, and then we come back and win it 1-0 in the 11th inning. Jackie Curry hitting about 275-foot home run to left field. So, and then you have the biggest win in your program history, even to this day, probably in one of them in my career, same probably Darren. And then you have 30 minutes to celebrate, and you now have to play Tulsa because you had to do it over 2 days. And then we win that game coming from behind in the 7th inning with 2 outs and nobody on base. Melissa Shimleski hitting Elisa from first base down the right field line. So, and then we just had to split a doubleheader, and we took care of business to go undefeated, which is pretty cool. So A lot of special memories. I remember that very clearly.
It sounds that you sound like you got everything still remembered about
Yeah.
that. The fun part is now to try to tell people that are new to NDSU or just getting here that you guys used to play in the Dome. I remember when you couldn't play outside, you were playing softball games in the Fargo Dome.
We did. We played in the Fargo Dome. We'd play at Minnesota. We played at Nebraska just to try to kick games in here in
Yeah.
the Midwest. It's a different world we live in, and our athletes and female athletes get so more, and it's all the right stuff. But some of my favorite memories are getting on a bus at 11 o'clock at night, putting on a scary movie, getting up wherever we were in McCombs or Fort Wayne,
Yeah.
timing up, eating breakfast. And as a team, I was running off the bus, going to practice and getting to the hotel, and then winning a series. Sometimes these kids think things are hard and they don't really have any idea. But you don't know what you don't know. But I wouldn't trade some of those as part of my experience for anything.
Last thing before I let you go, after winning on Sunday, have you heard a lot from people back here about making it back to OKC?
Yeah, tons. I think that's probably when I can't get past getting to 200 text messages to try to get back to people. To be honest, it's been that special. And that means I'm getting old because there's a lot of people been able to coach and be connected to. But from here, Minnesota, families, administrators, I've had administrators from NDSU reach out, same with Minnesota too. So just means I was in a lot of cool places and a lot of the right places that fit my life and part of who I am today.
Well, it's awesome to see you. Congratulations. I know you're super busy, so I really appreciate you carving out a few minutes for us. And good luck this weekend at the World Series, okay?
Thank you. Once a Bison, always a Bison.
Great to see you, Jamie. Jamie Trachsel, Ole Miss head softball coach, joining us today. The Rebels will play against Texas Tech coming up Thursday night in Oklahoma City, one of 5 teams from the SEC. Trachsel, of course, was here for 14 years of the Bison, part of that 2009 team that, as she just detailed in great detail of their win over Oklahoma. Good stuff there, and we'll be keeping our eyes on that when it starts on Thursday. We're due for a break. We come back. Jason Belkey will join us, Cheyenne head baseball coach, as the Mustangs get ready for the Class A tournament, which begins on Thursday in Grand Forks. Coming up, other side of the break, Hot Mike is back after this.